What's up, guys? I know Wednesday is usually my day, but can I tell you a story? So, yesterday, I came to this retreat home where we're getting trained for doTERRA for the next 3 days. And it was 5.5 hours for me. I decided Monday I was going to do it, and it starts today's Thursday. So, Wednesday night, I had a long drive, and I fully intended on going live at like 11 p.m., and I fell asleep. I mean, I knew before I fell asleep that I was going to fall asleep, and I decided on my own that you guys would just get this live today. But she actually covered the topic that I was going to cover this morning. So I got double trained on it, and she brought up one thing that I hadn't thought of myself. So let's get into it. So today's going to be on things to consider when you're picking a network marketing company, because this is exactly how I picked doTERRA when I decided to do it. There were a bunch of companies on the list that I was considering of products I used. If you guys don't know, network marketing companies typically have the best quality products. It's just fact. And it's why they're network marketing companies, because if it's sitting on a shelf, you're not going to know the quality of the product by reading the label. You need someone to tell you. And that's why network marketing companies pick this business model to build their businesses, because you have to have the people actually sharing the information about the product in order to get it to the people. Like I said, not something you can read off a label. So, things to consider when picking a network marketing company that you want to work with is one, their retention rate of customers. So, when you have a network marketing company, you get customers that are yours, right? Now, retention means for every 10 customers you get, how many are going to stay with you versus move on? So if you get 10 customers and only one stays for the rest of your life, or if you get 100 customers and only one stays with you for the rest of their life, that's a 1% retention rate. That's super, super low. So one thing to consider is the company's overall retention rate. So the company I'm with is about a 65% retention rate. So for every 100 customers I get, 65 of them are going to stay with me for life. Now, other things that play into that are what I'm going to cover next. So one's the product. Product, by far, a good product creates that retention. So naturally, a company with a good retention rate is going to have a great product behind it. So that's also something you want to look at. But you yourself, you don't only want to look at a good product, but you want to look at a product you're going to use. Okay, guys? We're not going to be sleazy. We can't pick products we don't use ourselves. Does that make sense? Like, then you're going to be the icky person that gives network marketing a bad rep. Like, don't do that. Okay? For the rest of us, just don't do it. Now, you can have a great product, but take one company I'd considered for a little bit because I love their stuff is Tupperware. But then I thought about it and think about it. You don't buy Tupperware more than once. Lifetime guarantee. I mean, it's an amazing company, but you have a customer once, they make a sale, they're never going to buy that item again because they get it refilled for free every time it breaks from then on. It's not a consumable product. So if you're really hoping to build a business and not have to continuously work, if you want something to build and become residual, you're going to want a product that's consumable and that people are going to need to restock. Make sense? Got it? All right, next thing. The compensation plan. This one, you're going to want to play into your strengths a little bit more if you want to get that in depth with it. Certain compensation plans are better than others. I'm not going to go into them all. You can research them yourself. I just want to bring it up as an item for you to consider and look into yourself. But one thing I will say is some compensation plans will promote customers, or they'll promote you finding other people to do the business with you. They usually tend to lead one or the other. So you might want to pay attention to that depending on what your strengths are if you know them. If you know you can sell product like no one's business, you might want a comp plan that caters to that a little bit more. If you know you can recruit like crazy and love finding business partners to build things with you that are great at selling the product, pick a compensation plan that caters to that. And again, it's something that when picking a company, you need to combine all these things together. And any company you'll pick will have pros and cons to you personally. All right, next thing, market share. What's that mean? Market share is how many people your product will apply to. So if you have, let's say, I don't know, like jewelry, right? It's going to be mostly to all women. So you're knocking out men, right? So when thinking of market share, think about your product and think about who would use your product. And that's the market share that that product has. So you're going to want to pick a product that has a very large market share. That way, the people you can market to expands. Like you would rather be able to market to a lot of people versus like this tiny little bubble, right? I can't think of the word. I'll give it like 2 seconds. If I can't think of it, I'll move on to the next thing. No, it's like section, like a section of people, like a certain specific, you guys know what I'm saying. You follow me. You know me. All right. Next thing that she brought up today that I hadn't thought of before was owners of a company and where they intend to take it and what lies in their power, right? What they can do, what you think they'll do, what happens if they go crazy, all that sorts of things was one thing I hadn't considered. So I don't have a lot to say on it because it's one thing that didn't factor into me picking a company. I just happened to like super duper luck out. But think about like what happens if the owner changed the compensation plan, right? Like it's worth it to get to know the owners of the company a little bit more. And one thing that's not going to come into play too much because most network marketing companies have a little debt. But if a company is debt free, that's going to be like an extra cherry on top, right? So those are all the things you can factor. I didn't say this at the beginning because I was so excited about the trip I'm on and I got to go tour corporate and meet some executives and all of that jazz over the past few days. But I meant to say, hey, I'm Kim. And that's pretty much it. I just forgot to say, hey, this is Kim. So that's kind of silly. But yeah, hope you guys learned a lot. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment, message me, and good night.